Yeah, thank you, Sachin, for a nice introduction. I'm going to talk on Triton swept source OCT. So OCT, we have seen evolution. Time domain had 4400 A scans per second, and this I had in 2005. Spectral domain I had 2012, and swept source now I'm having for last 4 years. So coming to swept source SSOCT. So it's a multimodal OCT with a high speed of wavelength of 1000 nm. Coherent light is sent to the eye and with reference mirror. Reflected light is collected by detector and a Fourier transformation is applied. It compares various frequencies from different structures and shows different structures but in a same single image. So it has automatic 7-layered segmentation. Pinpoint registration is there, compare function is there, 3D volumetric lead detection algorithm is there, and automatic image acquisition process is there, which has autofocus and auto shoot. Various retinal layers, including the choroidal layers, can be seen with the help of swept source, and it has an advantage that it has improves the signal to noise ratio because of this moving image averaging. Better VScan images there, and we can get a macula and disc in same scan. Also, it has a single wide field cube scan of 9 by 12 mm, and the total acquisition time is only 1.3 seconds, and we can quickly diagnose based on this a glaucomatous damage. It also shows in-fast retinal image and RF thickness image. So let's come and see the drawbacks. Any drawbacks, blink artifact, they can give rise to loss of data, and the interpretation would be difficult. Media opacities like cataract or vitreous opacities can give rise to segmentation errors. There can be decentration, myopia. Obviously, we know that it's not helpful. OCT is not helpful in this. And in advanced glaucoma, because of the floor effect, it is not possible to manage progression. Peripapillary ERM and diabetic retinopathies can give rise to overestimation of RNFL and GCC. So coming to its uses, so we can use this for diagnosis, Hood report, OCT angio, trend analysis also, and ASOCT is also available with this. So ASOCT, we can diagnose narrow angle and open angle with the help of ASOCT. Now let's see how to read printouts. The most important is image quality. So it should be higher, more than 40. Then only we can have this printout for our reading and interpretation. Then check for centration. Also check for segmentation errors in this window. Other artifacts also can be seen here. Then after that is the most important is disk photography, and disk area can be seen. Vertical CD is most important. After that, RNFL and nesting is important. RNFL symmetry is very, very important in right and left. Thickness map and superpixel 200 should be seen after that. Here we also get GCC++, that is GCL plus IPL plus RNFL. Now let's see how we can correlate with ONH. Now here we know that there is a high CD ratio over here, and you can see that the GCL everything looks normal, even RNFL symmetry is normal. So this can be just a high CD with large disk. You can see the disk area is very high. Then how to correlate ONH and visual field. Here you can see that there is a almost looks like normal, but superior thinning is there. And left side, there is vertical enlargement with thinning of NRR, and you can see the RNFL defects here. So when we do OCT, we can see that the other areas are absolutely normal, and there are certain RNFL defects. Now we need to compare that with others. And here you see that the disk area is normal. RNFL symmetry is just 60%. There is thinning of NRR, and it is superior temporal as well as inferior temporal is much more. So here in the GCC++ scan, we can see all the results all the things which we saw with ONH photographs are correlating with this. Even the perimetry is correlating, though right eye still has a pre-perimetric glaucoma. So coming to the next thing, that is Hood report, which is an exclusive Topcon swept source OCT. This we get a derived circular scan, in-fast image, there can be circumpapillary RNFL scan, and there is a probability map which is on which the superimposed visual points would be there. So this answers the following questions. Is optic neuropathy present? Where is the damage? Is it within the 8 degrees of fixation? The macula-centric scan is available with Hood, and this is displayed as nestin and not as Tisnit. So this is what we has a Tisnit, but here from temporal to temporal, and there can be loss of macular images and macular data. But here we have a macula-centric scan, and here you can see if the central defects are there, they are within the central 10 degrees of 10 degree visual field. And if there are away 15 degrees away from this, it can be seen as nasal step. So again, a patient, disc asymmetry is there in the right and left eye, and you can see that the RNFL GCC thinning is there left eye much more as compared to the right eye. And in Hood report, if you see, there is inferior part, and it has shown as nasal step over here. Even the 10-2, you can see there is certain points which are depressed in 10-2 fields. So left eye, obviously there is loss, and you can see that there is patterns and the deviation. 24-2 also the damage corresponds, and even in 10-2. So coming to trend analysis, this is a very good analysis, and it shows us how the disease is progressing. And you can see even the other areas like other GCC plus RNFL and other layers, you can see how they are progressing in this. So one patient, a patient who came actually for LASIK, and we saw there was a very thin RNFL defect inferior temporally in the right eye, and we did perimetry and OCT for this, and we could find that there is an RNFL thinning, and we wanted to see how it's progressing. So this is a Hood report where it corresponds with the visual field in 24-2, and this is a trend analysis, and we know that it is not progressing very rapidly, and the stability is there. Coming to OCT angio, this also can be seen on SweatSource, and it is commercially available since 2015. It is a non-invasive technique, and we can have angiographic images in seconds, and it can measure retinal peripapillary capillaries around the ONH. So there are reports in advanced glaucoma, there is loss of peripapillary capillary density, even in diurnal variation in open angle glaucoma, there is loss of these defects. So qualitatively, sparser vascular networks are seen more severe glaucoma, and lower values of peripapillary and macular vessel density are associated with glaucoma progression and glaucoma damage. So one patient, just want to show you one example. This patient had a superior inferior RNFL defect in right eye and inferior temporal in the left eye. And we can see how the defects and the layers are correlate very well. So this is superior inferior damage in RNFL, GCL, IPL, IPL, INL, INL, OPL, and even up to ONL, but not so much in photoreceptors. So applications of this can be done having research. So this can be additional marker for identifying glaucoma. We can have early detection. We can see risk of disease progression and monitor patients with advanced glaucoma. It may be helpful in patients who perform poorly on visual fields and who can have RNFL artifacts on OCT analysis. And if it is only IOP is not only the cause of POG, and this is another factor, we can have additional treatments for this. So let's see, consider these studies. So this is an Optos image. You can see that there is an inferior RNFL defect in the eyes, and this is visual field where you can see not very much appreciable defects, but some depressed decibels in both the eyes. And this is RNFL. So here, definitely GCC plus analysis showing inferior temporal defect, left more than the right. OCT angio, you can see that there is an inferior defect here in the right eye, which corresponds with Hood analysis, and you can have slope of superior inferior RNFL thinning. Left eye again is showing inferior RNFL defect, which is seen in Hood analysis over here. The NFAS image and the thickness image also is showing defect over here. So this is another patient of a very poor compliance, and you can see on visual fields the DPA is progressing very fast in the left eye. Definitely that is advanced cupping in the left eye. Even the 10-2 is showing the same thing. And here on visual field, we are seeing a same thing, that is right eye and left eye more advanced, and includes even the field loss in central 10 degrees over here. So trend analysis, if we see left eye is progressing at a faster rate, and the rate is much more higher into a temporal, superior and inferior quadrants. And here right eye shows stability, but the left eye is progressing at a very fast rate. So this we can consider and have like manage patient properly. So most important thing is OCT will show any nerve abnormality because basically it is a nerve analysis. So this patient, you can see that the pallor was more than cupping and these were his fields. When they did OCT, right eye is showing damage, but it is disproportionate. So when we asked patient to do MRI and the patient had multiple problems like microvascular changes, cerebral atrophy was there, even carotid bulb narrowing was there. So something else other than glaucoma also can be diagnosed on OCT. Another patient was on multiple drugs for 12 years and he had field defects this. So this is not a typical glaucoma defect. So you advised MRI and patient had an old infarct posterior tip of the right occipital cortex. So all these things can be diagnosed and managed with the help of OCT. Managing glaucoma is very, very important. And another patient of AIN, though it is showing an inferior arterial defect, when patient came after 2 years, typical glaucous field because we knew and the pallor and cupping are not matching. Definitely this was not a NTG or glaucoma diagnosis and we could treat accordingly. So best utilization for OCT for glaucoma is when we match the OCT analysis and ONH changes and always correlate with visual fields. We have to analyze entire report and not just numbers or colors. We have to look for focal change and not for overall change. Watch for media opacities and segmentation errors. Identify errors, artifacts, and reason behind these errors. Also account for myopia and other comorbid conditions. And always do a detailed retinal evaluation along with OCT macula. Thank you for your patient hearing.